Evening wherever you are. Dr. Ruth Anderson and Teri Angel here with Enlightened World Network. We bring you a meditation every day of the year. And on Sundays, Teri and I do something that is kind of special. It's a silent meditation. We invite you to meditate along with us. And after 20 or 25 minutes, Teri and I come back on and we share with you the messages that Spirit has given us. Teri, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Ruth, and good morning, everyone.
So Teri's going to play some music. We're going to go behind the scenes. Just settle in, have a fabulous meditation, and we'll see you in about 20-25 minutes. Teri, we're back. Can you hear me?
We are back. I do hear you.
That was really interesting. Deep and
Yeah.
wow. The first thing we saw, Teri and I were on massage tables, and we were at the 25th floor, which, if you haven't listened to any of our podcasts about the work at the 25th floor, please do. You can find them on YouTube at Enlightened World Network. Type in the search 25th floor. It is a place where you can go for healing and clearing, and the divine healers are sometimes otherworldly. So, yes, the angelic realm, but also otherworldly. So, that's where we were, was at the 25th floor. And what we saw them doing was unraveling tapes. Now, if you think of like a cassette tape and it had all that tape rolled up in there, and you could start at one end and just pull it out, just pulling out the tapes. And that's what they were doing, was pulling out tapes from us. Teri, do you want to talk about those tapes?
It was so interesting, Ruth. So I was laying face down as they were doing the work for me, and they were opening me up. And I was telling Ruth, you think of a human body being opened up, you think you see all of this guts and blood, but I was seeing this casing just fall away as they were opening me up. And the casing, we discovered, was made out of those tapes, the tapes of all of the experiences in life where we're responding to not feeling worthy, not feeling enough, not feeling loved. And that was the outer hard shell casing that they were removing from my body. Not that they were opening up my human body, but they were opening up that shell so that my body could be what it's here to be, which is magnificent. And then I observed Ruth. She was laying on her back, and the tapes were coming from her throat. And as she was feeling it, I was physically feeling it as well, that I had to cough, I had to clear. We both were gagging at the same time because there was all this stuff that was being pulled away that didn't have any purpose anymore. It wasn't serving anything for our highest good. It was really amazing to feel it, to see it, and to feel the energy as it was happening to both of us, because you felt mine as well.
Right. Well, and what was interesting, Teri, was the first layers of tape that was coming out. Excuse me, I heard all the lies you've told yourself.
Right.
And then we started hearing the lies. You're
Mhm.
not lovable. You're damaged goods.
Right.
You're inherently unlovable. You're not beautiful. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough. You're not fun enough. You're not worthy of love. You're not capable of love. And excuse me, so much comparing to other people. But then, once they cleared the lies we had told ourselves repeatedly, it was the lies from other people. And we could see where we had stored those lies, whether it be in or around our heart space or our throat chakra, the solar plexus, and how you see yourself in the world. And I saw that I had been storing those lies around my brain. And so, therefore, everything that came into me came in through that filter of you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not capable. And then, Teri, we got into affirmations. And how do you work affirmations if everything's coming through this filter of you're not lovable, you're not worthy? Teri, can you talk about the affirmations?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have all these filters that happen from the very beginning of our lives, the way people treat us, the way our peers treat us, all of that's there. So when we start to say, I am enough, we don't believe it because we've been told our whole life we're not enough. Well, some people have, not everyone, but those of us who are dealing with these deep things that are going on, we've heard you're not enough. You're not what I want. You're not lovable. I don't love you anymore. You'll never amount to anything. We hear all of this stuff. So when we try to tell ourselves, I love you, you are enough, you are worthy, there's a part of us that goes, wait a minute, that's not what I've heard my whole life. That's not what I've heard before. So what I understand from the masters and the teachers that have taught me, we don't need to go back and change any of our past. We can't. So we don't need to change those stories that people have told us. What has to change is our reaction, our response, and all of that residue that's there that is keeping us from really believing and understanding that, yes, we are lovable, we are enough, we are worthy, and we are wanted. And when we can just make that shift, we can't change anything that happened, but we can change how we're seeing it now through our eyes. Let your now be the filter, not what happened in the past. And I love that, Ruth, that at any given moment, we can start changing our world to the way we want it to be, not the way other people have tried to manipulate and change us in the way they want us to be. So
Yes.
I love that.
Yep. And then they gave us the tapes back, but they were cleared off. All of the residue had been removed from them. But we did see there were times where the original tape came through, but it was the times we wanted to keep.
Mhm.
You know, maybe you had been through a difficult time and stood strong through it and spoke your truth. Those were able to remain. But what we saw is that it is our choice what we want the tapes to say, and it always was our choice. But we didn't know we had the ability to change or not have what was on those tapes. It was really a very interesting time. One other part that was really important. Teri, tell the story about the elephant.
Yes. So I heard this years ago. There was a keeper of the elephants that had this elephant chained by its leg and tethered to a building. So the elephant knew its limits. It knew that it could only go so far, and that was it. Wasn't able to move about freely. Well, when that chain was removed and the elephant had the ability to move around freely, it didn't, because it still thought it was tethered. It didn't know yet that it was free. And sometimes we're like that. Sometimes we have had these limits. Sometimes since the very beginning of our lives, we've been told these things or put in a box, and we can't go outside that box. But when that box is opened up for us, we still think, oh, I can't do that. We use that word can't. And that's what has to go. It's that thought process of not being able to think that we're still tethered to something, or we're still held back and still restricted. And Ruth, I've even known people that their, for lack of a better word, their captor, the one that's telling these limits and teaching you that you can't do something, even after that person's gone out of their life, they still have the mindset, oh, I can't do that. And thinking that, that person is still affecting them and holding them back. It's only in your mind. Those limits are only in your mind. And once you can reach that part of you that says, I'm free, you will be.
Yeah. Beautiful story. So interesting, this meditation today. I want to re-listen to this. I mean, I did take notes through it, but I want to put myself back in that place of realizing I am not the shape, the energetic shape of all of the lies I've been telling myself or of the things other people have told me. I'm not that shape. I never have to go back to seeing myself that way again. And in reality, I really never was that shape.
Right. Yeah, it's just a story.
It's just a story.
Yeah. I've loved this so much today, Ruth. We've been doing this for a while, this silent meditation, and it's always interesting where we're taken in our meditation time. But I think this has been the deepest we've gone in one of these meditations. And it was emotional to look at that. And it will be if any of you had that desire to take a deeper dive and to say, okay, where are my limits? Where am I telling myself a story that I can't? And seeing that you're held down by maybe some old tapes, to start to tell a different story. And yeah, it is simple. It's simple, but it also is deep. So as you take that dive, when you're ready in your time, just know you're not alone. You are not alone. There's so much support for you, and there's so many people that care and love you. And here at Enlightened World Network, you can find a whole family that is going to be there if you want to take that deeper dive and support you as you're doing so.
That's beautiful, Teri. Thank you. So, friends, thank you for being here at Enlightened World Network. Thank you for doing the work of the everyday walk. So much love to each and every one of you. Take good care. God bless, and we'll see you soon.